Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer. You know, the other day, I paid $300 to rent a limo, and it didn't even come with a driver. All that money and nothing to show for it. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Expeditions, a sequel to Side from Stonemaier Games. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. In Expeditions, a sequel to Side from Stonemaier Games, 1 to 5 players take on the roles of various adventurers as they go into the deepest parts of Siberia, searching for artifacts, a lost expedition, and hoping to win glory. Now, the game board is made up of kind of the base camp, and then you have, I believe, 6 base tiles that you place out that are face up, and then face down you have kind of central tiles and northern tiles. You place those, as I say, face down, you put map tokens on them. In between the spaces of various tiles, you're going to lay down face up cards, and these are going to change over the course of the game. You're going to be able to collect these over the course of the game. Players are going to go ahead, they're going to get their own mech board, which match their own mech figure. And on that mech board, they're also going to go ahead and get 4 kind of star tokens that they're going to place there. You're also going to get kind of your first 2 cards, which are kind of the hero cards. You select the hero and their companion, their animal companion, and you place those cards kind of in your hand, which is actually just kind of to the left of your mech board. Now, the goal of the game is to gain the most coins. This is essentially victory points, money throughout the game. Now, of course, you've got your mech board that matches your mech. You place your own colored kind of base on the mech. And in the top right of the mech board, you've got this little kind of action selection area, which has spaces for the different actions you're going to take. You've got kind of move, play, gather, and then beneath it, you've got refresh, and then kind of an open space. Well, what you're going to do is at the beginning of the game, you got the open space, meaning on your first turn, you can do all 3 actions. You can move your mech up to 3 spaces, or maybe more, depending on some factors. You can play a card from your hand, and what that means is when you play a card, you play it to the right side of the mech board. You gain its kind of core value, which is either power or guile, and you kind of move these trackers up on the left side of your board. You can move them all the way up to 10. 10 is the maximum for each. And then as you place more of the stars, more on that later, you can gain potentially more guile and power. And then you can gather. And gather means when you land on a specific space, from that space you can get whatever resource is on that space you've landed on. Now, what's going to happen is, after your first turn, you're going to place the cube on one of those 3 actions, move, play, or gather, which means at the beginning of your turn, you can play 2 actions, but whatever your cube is on, you cannot play that action. Then at the beginning of your next turn, of course, you shift the cube, you can play those 2 actions, etc., etc. But as you're doing this, of course, you're playing the cards. Now, as you play the cards, you get that core value, but also, too, you can, if you have a worker, you can place a worker on it, which gives you some other sort of ability. But you have to have the right colored worker in order to do that specific ability. Over the course of your turns, you'll be playing more and more cards, but eventually you'll run out of cards, or maybe there's some cards you won't want to play, in which case you can take a refresh action, meaning you move your cube down to refresh, you take all the workers off of the cards, you put them back on your mech board, and then you put your cards that you played back into your hand. And on the next turn, what you can do is you can go ahead then and play all 3 actions once again, beginning a new cycle. Now, as you move into the central and northern areas, you take the map token that's on it and place that in your mech board, and then flip the tile over. Now, on the rightmost gather spot, what you're going to do is you have to put out corruption. Now, you grab a bag and you reach in and you grab tiles for corruption. Now, the corruption on the tile may say 5+ or 8+, meaning you keep drawing tiles until you have at least 5 corruption there. And these corruption can either be power corruption or they can be guile corruption. Now, one of the things you can do is, one of your cards, one of the things they'll let you do is, if you place the right worker on there, you can vanquish, meaning you can spend that much guile or power in order to vanquish those corruption tokens. If you vanquish the last corruption token, you can usually do the gather action regardless. Now, at one point on the board, there is the 20 corruption, and you place a 20 corruption marker there. You don't put that in the bag, you just have it out. You place a 20 corruption tile there on the board, and that means when you get there, if you do a vanquish action, you have to spend both corruption and guile in order to gain that. You have to spend 10 corruption and 10 guile in order to gain that. And then, of course, all those corruption tokens that you vanquish, you get to put on your player board. They're going to come in be handy quite later. Now, there's different things you can do here, too. You can get some cards, and you have meteorite cards. You can actually kind of meld some meteorites, meaning you can go ahead, if you can pay the price, you can put that card, you slide it under the bottom of your mech, and you can do that up to 4 times. You can go on quests. Essentially, you get cards that say, go to this location and do whatever it says, and you can solve this quest. So you go there, you have to play solve action, and you can go ahead and get that, and you put that and tuck that up at the bottom or at the top of your mech board. Then, of course, there's also items, equipment. You can find those, and again, if you pay the price, you can tuck them into the side of your mech board, and they'll give you some more coins at the end of the game. You can do that each 4 times. Now, once you've done that 4 times, you can go to kind of a boost area with a star, and you place your star on the base camp place, because if you've done 4 melds, if you've done 4 quests, if you've done 4 items, you can go ahead and gain stars on the board on the base camp board for those actions. But also, too, if you have gotten the 20 corruption token, you can place a star there. If you've got 7 corruption tokens total, you can place a star there. I think if you've got 8 cards, you can place a star there. If you have either 7 workers on your board, or you have 5 map tokens, you can place a star there. One or the other. You can't do both. So you're going and you're placing these stars after you've completed these objectives. You go to the boost place. You can go ahead and start placing the stars on this base camp board. Now, this is important because that's going to track toward the end of the game. Now, as soon as one player has 4 stars on the base camp board, that triggers the end game. You finish the round. Once you finish the round, you go and you add up all the things that give you money. Each of your corruption tokens that you have, regardless of what's the printed number on top, they all give you 2 points, 2 coins. So you add that up, you add up all the points you're getting from your quest cards, from your item cards. You're going ahead and you're looking at all the various factors that give you coins. You add those up, and whoever has the most coins wins. Expeditions. All right, so there's a lot more going on in this game than I said there. That's just kind of the basic rules for the game. So I went ahead and I got my copy of this a few weeks ago. Kim and I broke it out. We played it 2-player, and I should tell you right now, I've only ever played this game 2-player and solitaire. I haven't played at the higher player counts yet. So first of all, this game has a lot of good choices in it. A lot of good choices. And one of the most fundamental choices is that idea of, what do I want to do this turn? Do I want to play and gather? Do I want to move and play? Do I want to, move and gather? Whatever. Where do I want that token? Because I'm limited on what I can do. I can't do 3 things every time. And that's a fun choice every turn that you're making, and I like that. But I like to with the cards, because sometimes you have to play cards in order to activate the abilities to accomplish other things. But sometimes you just, you want to hold the cards back. Sometimes you want to play them because you need to get the power or the guile that they're going to give you. So there's some good choices there as well. And then too, a lot of times, you get decisions about taking cards or what tile do I want to go to in order to, what do I need? Do I need more workers or do I need more, do I need to vanquish something or do I need to boost something? There's a lot of great choices on the board itself and the tiles themselves and what they bring to it. So I really like the choices that this game generates. On the whole,
the game, I think, mechanically is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this game. I'm going to talk, first of all, about the solitaire experience. I think the solitaire experience is fantastic. I think this is a great solitaire game. Essentially, what happens in the solitaire game, I'm not going to get too much into it, but you've got you, and then there's two other mechs. And the two other mechs are kind of moving in opposite directions along the central and northern tiles, and then they just kind of loop around and go back, and they just keep doing that. So they're denying spaces to you, and you draw cards, and they're going, and they're vanquishing, or they're getting mapped tokens, or they're doing things. So you've got these cards that kind of drive it, and then you've got another card, a progress track, that instead of just 4 stars they put out 8, and as soon as you put out 8, they put out the 8, then you're at endgame. But that's good too, because you're trying to, it's a race to get things done and gain more resources, because they're gaining more resources. The mech is gaining more resources. There's 2 of them, but they're kind of treated as one. So it's really good. I really enjoyed the solitaire version of this game. I think if you're looking for a solid solitaire game, you'll get a kick out of this. Now, with the multiplayer game, so as I say, I've just played it 2-player, and it's been Kim and I. And I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. There's a lot there that I liked, except this is a game that when you play with an opponent feels a lot like multiplayer solitaire. You're doing your own thing. You're not really paying too much attention to what the other person is doing because you kind of can't. You can't. It's hard to keep track of everything that they're doing. And they're trying to get ahead, and you're trying to get ahead, and the only thing you can really do to screw over somebody else is to move to a space they wanted, which is a typical worker placement idea. So I liked the game. I had fun with the game, but I missed a sense of maybe take that and more direct competition. It's a Euro. This is a Euro game. But I missed that. I missed that idea. And maybe, in an expansion, hopefully that we'll see, maybe there'll be some take that or direct combat. Oh, a combat system in this would be great. I'd get a kick out of it. Maybe you can gain a star or something like that for defeating someone else in combat, or I don't know, something like that. I'd really get a kick out of that. With that being my experience with 2-player, I don't know how excited I would be to play this with 4 or 5 players. Maybe 3 players would be okay, but I think when you get to like 4 or 5 players, I think the game would, it'd be more crowded, I guess, so there'd be a little bit more competition for resources, but I just don't think it would be that much fun. I'm not a big fan of people just hunched over their own player board doing their thing, and there's not a lot of interaction. And that, I think, would be the thing here. That said, I like this game. And it's funny, because this is a Euro that I enjoy. I liked Scythe. I liked Scythe a lot. I thought Scythe was a pretty fun game. With some more play, I may like this one better. I don't know. We'll see. Certainly, if they could bring some more direct conflict in this game, I might like this one a lot better, frankly. What I was struck with about this game, too, is just how easy it is to learn and to play. This is a very easy game. Not a hard game to learn, not a hard game to teach. It's a pretty good game in that respect. So factor all this together. I'm going to say buy it if you're looking for a good solitaire game, or maybe lower player count game. Buy it. Higher player count, I'm not so sure. But with all that said and done, I really do like this game. I'm excited to see what they do with expansions. Recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Expeditions is buy it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I'd also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history, books on history, fun things like that. I've uploaded my World War II and Nazi Germany course lectures onto that channel, so please check that out. Please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Please subscribe to this channel as well. Also, please leave a thumb for this video on Board Game Geek. That helps us out a lot as well. And if you are a big fan of the channel, if you like the content we bring to you, I would urge you to please click on the Super Thanks button on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, rather. That would help us out a lot. We would really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, last night, my girlfriend and I, we watched 2 movies back to back. Fortunately, I was the one facing the TV. ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that I have recently come up with a theme song for Scythe, and I'm very excited because I really think Stonemaier Games is going to want to license this, maybe put out a little CD with future releases of the game, because it is that good. So, if you'll indulge me now, here is my theme song to Scythe. Scythe, 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 scythe. It just kind of goes on like that. Scythe, 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 scythe.